This is my story about buying a 1969 SS Chevelle 396 sight unseen in Australia from the other side of the country. It was an eBay listing. I spoke to the guy on the phone, I got some advice. My brother said definitely don't buy it, my dad said buy it now. I spoke to the owner, I looked at the situation. It had been converted to right-hand drive, big block that was rebuilt in the 90s. I thought that's got to be worth some money, so I took a risk, I had to go. When I was getting the car trucked over to Melbourne, Queensland flooded. It got stuck somewhere for 2 whole weeks. And there I am wondering if it's got cyclones pouring half an ocean through it. My dad had a really big empty workshop a couple of hours out of town. It was something I could do while I visited him, and I was happy for it to be a really long-term project. The scariest thing about this car was how many parts it was missing. Even if I could get the parts, how could I get this thing put together? Maybe the best option was just to go custom on it, but I decided to try and go original. I was missing trunk lid, fenders, inner fenders, bonnet, grille, everything on the front except for the bumper bar. I was missing doors, I was missing one of the front seats, missing a lot of the interior. The wiring loom was just a big knot in the engine bay of shit. But the rear quarters are rusty and there's rust around the back window. Auto trans fluid in the T400 looked like a chocolate milkshake. The 396 was a bit seized. Started cutting rust out, making pieces to weld in, sandblasting. I put it on a rotisserie, got the underside of it in top coat, clear over base on top of epoxy 2-pack primer. Yes, I know it should have been black. I should have done it black. It's too late now. I started collecting parts on eBay. I bought a boot lid. If it was any worse, the guy could have put it in a smaller box with a shovel. I think the most sensible thing I can do is get it partially assembled and then work on mechanicals and make it a good driving car before I start. When I bought my rear deck filler panel on eBay, I was having it couriered to a guy in California who'd put it in a container, bring it to Melbourne, Australia, and by that time there's nothing left in eBay. And what actually happened was they sent me the wrong panel and I could not figure out what it was meant to fit. It was such a shame because it was actually a really good panel. And I just had to let it go. I just had to move on, and I got a reproduction. The reproduction was so terrible I used as little of it as I had to. Same with one of the fenders I bought was just about not worth saving. I nearly didn't save it. The guy I bought it off, without saying anything to me, just shipped it to a Greyhound bus depot. I gave him an address. I thought the price was a little cheap. That's because he didn't send it to me. Ended up on the phone at 4 o'clock in the morning, and this woman's telling me she's not giving the pack, she's not going to release this parcel to anybody but me. And I said, I'm in Melbourne, I am not coming there for the box. You can just go throw it in the river. Anyway, she ended up agreeing to hand it over to a courier that I could send, and it cost me so much money. It's like the $600 fender with rust and dents. You know, that's the price you pay for doing a car like this in the wrong country. I actually think the car was out in a paddock with no exhaust manifolds on it for 10 years. The story goes that 2 brothers were doing this car up in the 90s and they had a falling out. One guy had the panels, the other guy had the car. The falling out was so bad they never came together again. It's pretty sad. It made a lot of work for me. Usually people say they're going to get it done and it takes forever. I said it was going to take forever and I'm getting it done.